Welcome back. It's been a while. I actually took I don't even know how long it's been since I've posted anything on YouTube, but I have had a pretty hard couple months. I lost my grandmother June 11th and stayed in Florida for a couple weeks after that. To help my parents who were hospitalized and had to go to the doctor appointments. A bunch of stuff happened right after my grandmother passed away. And so YouTube just hasn't been a priority for me. So I'm going to make dinner and chat with you guys about what has been going on. And we're gonna cook through this little chat. I have some chopped Italian tomatoes that I got at that discount store. It's $1.99, non-GMO. Heck yes. I love chopped and diced tomatoes, but my husband is not a fan of tomatoes pieces, tomato chunks. And so I am gonna go ahead and just blend everything in here. I'm gonna make picadillo today. My favorite. It is almost 5 o'clock, and this is like my goal lately, is to have dinner either done by 5 o'clock or started at 5 o'clock so that I don't have to worry about anything and we can have dinner at 8. Today is Thursday and my husband's normally, today is his Friday, so I've got sofrito in here. It's kind of chunky, and it's basically just green peppers, garlic, onions, cilantro, and he made it. My husband made it and put it in this thing. This is like, it's not working out because it doesn't come out easily, but we're gonna make do. You know how I roll. We make do with what we got. So, just gonna kind of pan fry it, I guess. There's no oil in there. Well, there's olive oil in the sofrito. So that's just gonna cook up. I'd like to see the green just turn darker color, and then we will add our meat and all of our stuff. So last month, yeah, June 11th, I lost my grandmother. It was very hard. It's been very difficult. I don't think that I've fully processed her loss. Even though she had dementia, and I lost her basically 13 years ago when she was diagnosed with this. And so, you know how, I don't know if you have ever lost anybody to dementia, but it is, you know, once they don't remember you anymore, you're having conversations with them just because you love them and you want to like keep up with them, but they don't really remember you. And so that becomes a little hard. And so I feel like I did lose my grandma about 13 years ago, but seeing her finally gone, like going to her funeral, going to the burial, was very difficult for all of us in the family. I'm gonna blend this real quick. So these are the diced, and it looks like that. It's not too chunky, but normally picadillo I put, and I'm gonna be bouncing here, sorry, I have to deal with the way my brain works on these, but I'm gonna be bouncing, talking about my situation and cooking. So it's kind of like frying, doing its thing. I'm gonna put my big dollop of garlic. This is about 5 pounds of meat. And then I'm gonna put a nice tablespoon-ish of better than bouillon. I love this stuff. It tastes so good. Reduced sodium, yada, yada, yada. So yeah, I just wait until the sofrito changes colors a little bit, and then I just go ahead and add my other seasonings or ingredients. And I'll add the tomato sauce afterwards, towards the end. Just gonna fry like the garlic a little bit. It's on the 3, so it's like a medium low. There was a lot of time that I needed to just reflect. I don't think that I've been fully able to grieve my grandmother's death. It's still very much alive in my mind. I think about her every day. I have pictures that iPhone loves to send us daily, like reminders of this today, a year ago or 2 years ago. She's always popping up somehow. And so I'm being constantly reminded to remember her, right? And to honor her in my own memories and in my own thoughts of her. And so I have not been doing my cleaning videos. I have been cleaning, obviously. The show must go on. And grief doesn't care about anyone. And your children still need you. So, you know. Just saying, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to lose someone this close, and I do use a whisk because it just makes for, I know that there's like a ground beef thing, but I don't know, I feel that the whisk just works out so much better. And I don't know if you could hear the bubbling, but it's happening. So yeah, the show must go on. I cleaned up my living room area this morning. She is shedding like crazy, my little sushi girl. We just took her to the vet 2 weeks ago, and because she's been losing a lot of hair, and I don't know if that was normal. Now, she did have a litter recently, April, May. So she just had a litter, and she's already weaned off babies. There's no babies to take care of. But I took her to the vet anyway, just because I didn't know if the losing hair was like a postpartum thing like we do, or if it was just like a thyroid issue or a hormonal issue that she's having. Like, I'm not sure. But anyway, my couch was just bathed in dog hairs, and then my girls let her jump on the couch last night, and that was not fun because this morning I normally would have just vacuumed everything out, but instead I, with a microfiber towel, just kind of wiped off the actual couch, and I'll just have to vacuum later on. I just didn't have the energy to vacuum this morning. So I did have the energy though to clean my plants. I dusted them, and I have not watered them because I watered them last week, and so they're good. They're all happy. I have my humidifier. You can see that little cloud. It's got my humidifier on, and I've got some plants growing, some new leaves and things, and the humidity has really helped out to get those new growths coming in. And so I've just kind of been, it's summer break too, which I thank God that this grieving process is happening during a break, and it didn't happen right smack in the middle of our school, even though we did spend most of April in Florida because I had found out that she wasn't doing good. I went before things escalated to her death in June, and I'm glad I did because I was able to spend some time with her. My kids were able to spend some time with her, and we were all able to say goodbye, and so that was nice. My grandmother was like amazing. She was a pastor, and she spent most of her life helping people. I remember one of my memories about her was she had bought like this, or rented a property in Homestead, Florida. It was like acres and acres of land, and it was like beat up house in the middle of this land. And I think it was like 4 or 5 bedroom trailer house. Can't remember vividly. I don't like the house. I do remember the experience vividly though. Anyway, she had like, I want to say she had about 15 men living with her at that time, and they were all rehabbing and rehabilitating from addiction. So she would find these guys in church groups or in the street, and then she would just, you know, ask them like, do you want to learn about Jesus and the Lord and how you could change? And that's her legacy. Like, that's who my grandma was. She lived with 15, 20 men at one point. She was never hurt by any of these men. She was never assaulted. She was never taken advantage of. She was never abused. The Lord really worked through her. She's the epitome of Christianity for me in my life. Like, when I think about what would Jesus do, I think about my grandmother, because she never sat there and judged you. She would call you out on your crap, you know, and she would tell you like, hey, you're wrong, and that's not Christ-like, that's not good, blah blah blah. But you never felt judged. Like, you never felt like you were in trouble with her. You always felt like there was some sort of hope, you know, in the midst of your crappiness. Like, she extended this beautiful hope. And when I'm thinking about her and honoring her life, I can't help but remember all the goodness that she is and was to us, and how she taught us. She never let us, we never felt judged by her. We always felt led right back to Jesus somehow, some way. We always felt led back into prayer, led back into the cross, basically. She was she was the definition of true Christianity. She wasn't fake. She lived, like, the life that she lived. Who you met is exactly who she was. She was not different behind closed doors. She was the real thing. She was the real deal. I can't find a lid. And so it's been quite the thing to think about her, honor her, grieve her. And I just haven't been in a space to do that while I'm filming videos. But today I felt like, I don't know, like, my grandma would have been like, why aren't you doing your thing, Betsy? You know, like, why aren't you recording your videos? Why aren't you cooking or cleaning? Or this is what I love. I just love sharing my life, I guess, with whoever wants to hear it. Listen. And I learned so much from other YouTubers. I know I mentioned that before, but I learned so much listening to other women on YouTube. I've come out of so many mental blocks just listening to other women who have gone through things. And life is just not perfect and aesthetic and gorgeous and beautiful all the time. And so, although I homeschool 5 kids, and I have 5 kids, and it's a very busy home and 2 dogs, I work part-time with a GI, which is closing down her office. And so I'm gonna probably not be doing that very soon. And then I also clean Airbnbs. So if you've ever found another Betsy Cruz channel with the cleaning, that's me. I clean Airbnbs. On the side, I've taken up a lot of great clients that I've just stuck with. And so I have just 2 right now that I work with. I had like 5 or 6 before when I started, and now I'm down to just 2. I was like thinking about it. I'm like, I'm not gonna, anyway, it's a slow kind of cleaning and life, and it's a slow life in the sense that I am no longer working a 9 to 5 managing stores. how I used to manage stores in the airport in Miami and here in Texas, and then I managed 4 stores for H&R Block. My life has always been extremely, I'm gonna drain the, so this is where I was thawing out the beef in that Ziploc bag, and I'm just going to drain that oil, that excess oil, because there's excess oil from the beef and there's oil from the sofrito. So it's definitely flavorful, but it's very soupy right now, so I don't want to do that. I don't want to include all of that oil in here. So I live a very slow life compared to maybe 7 years ago when I was in the rat race, and I enjoy it. I love working. If I could go back to work, I would. But just now I'm at a different mindset, in a different place in my mind, where if I do go back to work, like I want it to be something that when I go home, I don't have to think about numbers and scheduling and KPI reports and talking to my boss 7 times a day or answering an email right away. Like I don't want to deal with that ever again. I told my husband if I ever go back to the workforce like that, like it would have to be something that is not what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, I don't have any attachments to that place when I leave. Like I clock out or I leave and that's it. That was my day. And so back when the pandemic happened, I opened up a little business, a cleaning business. I started doing move outs. My husband was working for a property management company, and I started cleaning their move outs, and I was doing really good. I think my best month, I made almost $10,000 cleaning out these homes, and I was able to go to Florida. That was like 4 or 5 years ago. When was the pandemic? 4 or 5 years ago. I was able to go to Florida and be there with my grandparents, who were also going through my maternal grandparents were going through some hard medical things as well. And I was able to spend like almost a month there. Thank God for my husband and my children who were able to man the space here. And I was able to take that money that I earned cleaning to be with them and not have to burden my family with the cost of being in Florida for a month. So anyway, when I decided to take this on, my mind frame was like, I don't have to clock in, I don't have to do any of those things. However, I am going to, I'm gonna leave, I'm gonna make money, and I'm gonna leave, and I don't have to worry about anything else, because you're cleaning out a move out. What is there to worry about unless the owner or whatever, I mean the property manager didn't like the way you cleaned or something, you had to go back and fix it, which I think only happened once because the property was a wreck. And there was like paint all over the flooring that I couldn't get out. I was not equipped to take paint out of tile and vinyl flooring. And so anyway, that was like a one-off, but this has been more hands-off for me. I like cleaning, unfortunately, or fortunately. It's very therapeutic for me. I don't have to think about anything else except cleaning the space. And then I'm in total control of my work. And so I love that, because in sales and management, like, you don't have control of anything. You don't know whether the clients are gonna buy the product you're selling, whether they're gonna choose to buy, do business with you, whether the people in your stores are handling these customers correctly. Like, there was always something that you had to go home and think about. And it was draining me for years. It was just draining me. because I couldn't get home and just be home and be a mom and cook and clean and love my kids and be with them. Like, it was always like this cloud of responsibility in the background that it was driving me bonkers. So I took this up, but shortly after that $10,000, $6,000 to $10,000, I can't remember. I just remember my bank account was really looking really good. After that month, I was exhausted, and I realized that I really don't like move outs, because people don't really respect the spaces that they rent. Not all people, but I would say 50-50. I had a 50-50 chance of walking into a wreck, and then a 50% chance of walking into a home where you were like basically just taking their money, because you're just wiping down surfaces, cleaning floors, and heading out in 2-3 hours because whoever lived there took care of the property so well. And so I ventured in and I found Airbnb cleaning was a thing. So I started doing that, and I'm hooked. That is what I love. I love Airbnb spaces. I mean, sometimes you do have a wreck going on, people party, you've got kids and pets that make a mess. So there, you know, it's not a perfect gig by any means, but it is a lot softer and slower than a move out clean, which could be very intense and it was very laboring. I think I lost like 15 pounds in a month because I had so many houses that month. My killer month, I had so many houses to clean. There was 2 stories, going up and down the stairs, like trying to get everything done in 5 to 8 hours, especially if it was a big house. So it was a very, very exhausting. And so I very quickly realized, like, I don't want to do this, even though I'm making great money and I don't go home and think about it. I'm gonna lower the heat. I've already put in my garlic, onion powder, paprika, a little bit of turmeric, cumin, white pepper. I'm gonna salt it. I'm gonna put in my tomatoes, and then I'm gonna lower from a 3 to a 1, because now I just want it to like simmer and cook thoroughly. I'm also gonna add some olives because I love olives. Nobody in my house likes olives, so the olives are strictly for me. I'm gonna blend the last of this. So anyway, I started doing the Airbnb thing. It's been so beautiful. It's been so chill. Every host that I've worked for and work with right now has been amazing. I've only had to fire, well, I've had to fire several hosts, I guess. And firing them meaning like, hey, I'm not cleaning the space anymore. You need to find somebody else. So, because in the end, you really work for that host. If the host is not really taking care of their property, they're not providing you with the things you need, like toilet paper or cleaning supplies or whatever it is that's needed in there, and you're just having a hard time to try to get your job done, then that's not a good host to be with. So I've been blessed with the 2 that I have right now. They're very much invested in their properties. They're very, very kind, very smart women. And so, yeah, I took up cleaning as a side gig, which is funny because I clean on YouTube. And so I guess that's my thing. I just enjoy it. I am gonna add salt, even though the bouillon has salt, but it is reduced sodium. But it's well seasoned. Like, you could pull off sometimes some meals, not all meals. You could pull some meals off without adding salt and you would be fine, because that stuff is good. But the ground beef does absorb a little bit of salt, and so do the tomatoes. The tomatoes are sweet. And then I'll try it at the end. I don't know, I added like half a tablespoon of salt. I don't even know. And I'll try this later on. So anyway, I took up this Airbnb stuff, this gig, and it's been great. It's going great. I don't have to take up anything that I don't want to, so if I can't clean that day, I don't accept the job. I've built a small little team, so if I have to be like, hey, can you clean for me this day? I usually have that help. I take my son and my daughter as well, my 18-year-old and my 15-year-old. If it's a big job, I have a lake house that I take my son to, because it's 2-story, 9 beds, 5 bedrooms, deck, 2 living rooms, game room, it's a whole thing. So I do take my son, and he helps me change the sheets and put in new sheets, and then he helps me vacuum the floors while I handle all of the deep cleaning in the kitchen and bathrooms and stuff like that, and dusting. So look at all this oil. This is wild. This is a gallon bag, and there is a little bit of meat down there, but that's okay. So I mean, this is about, I would say, like 2 cups, 2 cups of pure oil. And the oil gives dust. It really does give it such a beautiful flavor. I'm gonna put that window down. I feel like I have this crazy reflection. So that has helped me also feel like I'm contributing, giving into the fact that I like to work. It gives me satisfaction. I'm moving my body, which is a big goal for this year and for the rest of my life, really. It's not just this year, but I do want to get into a space where I'm moving a little more than I was. I've been pretty sedentary since I started homeschooling. You just kind of like get into this funk of doing everyday life, and you don't really quite take care of yourself like you used to. And then when I was working on the field, like, it was easy to get my steps in. It was easy to walk because I was juggling between 4 stores, and then like, hey, we need paper, running to the Dollar General next door, the Staples, and getting paper, running back, and you know, like you're moving around. I wasn't in a sit down type of management job. And then working at the airport, we weren't allowed to sit. And so walking from one terminal to the other terminal, checking inventory, bringing inventory up and down. Anyway, always moving. And so I always maintained like a healthy-ish weight. And I don't have that anymore. I haven't had that in many years. And so I'm trying to get myself back on track. Dealing with the grief, dealing with some depression. So I am dealing with these things. And I want to deal with this as best as I can, as healthily as I can, because my kids deserve a good mom who is not down and out about herself, and who can provide some sort of stability as well. I'm gonna wash this real quick. So I have come and decided that I really do need to move my body a lot more so that I could be happier. I have come to terms with that, fixing my tripod as we talk. I'm going to make some rice and beans today, and so I do have I have garbanzos, I have black beans. So I'm gonna add and I'm gonna add some olives to my beans as well, because I love that. And I'm not gonna put away the garlic and the bouillon and the sofrito, because I will also use that on my beans. And this is looking so yummy. That's how I like it. I like it soupy, but not too soupy, because it's swimming in fat, but soupy with like its juices and the tomato sauce. About 2 spoonfuls and a little bit of the juice, and it does not taste like olives at all. My family can't even tell that I put a little bit of olive juice in there. But I'm gonna keep these out. I just use the manzanilla ones, the ones with the red peppers. And then I'm just gonna let that cook for about 30 minutes. I'm gonna lower it now to low because I don't want crunchy beef. I don't want any of that hard beef on the bottom. I just want a nice soupy picadillo because that is what I like and my family likes. Now for the rice, my mom makes fun of me because I just can't get rice in my brain on how to make it without messing it up somehow. So I have just learned how to make rice in rice cookers and all kinds of cookers. And I discovered through a quick Google search that I could make rice in the steam setting on the Speedy, Ninja Speedy. So I'm gonna go get my rice. I'm gonna go get my water for my rice. And then I'm gonna get my beans. Gonna make my rice last just because I don't want it to dry out. And then I'm gonna just make my beans because once I have this all ready, the rice takes 16 minutes, 15 minutes under the steam setting. I'm gonna pour my rice in there just to have it ready and then have set my water on the side. I'll make that later. And then I'm gonna have to blend more tomatoes because I thought I had some tomato sauce, but I don't. So I'm just gonna use a little bit of this, maybe like a fourth of this, 1 pound, and then storage the rest of it for another meal. Look at my daughter. This is my 15-year-old daughter. She's been doing nail art and practicing, and anyway, now I have a nail tech. Oh my God. It's like, I was like, it's like $60 I just saved. She was like, it was like 120, Mom. So I saved 120 apparently. But anyway, I'm so excited because my nails are almost never done unless I do them myself, which I don't always have the time to do. And I hate spending money on nails because they don't last me very long. And so we're just practicing and seeing. She's practicing on me and her sister. Speaking of health as well, I'm trying to get more active. I was looking for a non-radiation, no Bluetooth, no apps, just like a smart Fitbit type of thing that could track my sleep, track my steps and my movement. It even reminds me to drink water, which is done only twice today. It tracked my sleep last night, which I don't think it's right. I think it stopped tracking me after 5 hours and 41 minutes because I had to go use the restroom in the morning. When my husband left for work, he said goodbye maybe at like 4:30 a.m. and I woke up, got up from bed, went to go use the restroom, and then came back to bed. So I don't think that was a legitimate tracker. But anyway, so I'm trying to get my steps in, trying to drink more water. The Airbnb cleaning actually helps me accomplish that because I'm going up and down stairs. I am switching, I'm moving furniture. I'm using all of my body. And so I think for me this year, I do need to, not for this year, forever, I need to focus on my health and just getting, I'm gonna do 3 cups. I usually do 4 cups for dinner. And then I have I have leftovers, and then I also have for my husband to take to work. But since today is his Friday, and he's not going to work tomorrow, I am gonna make 3 cups because I also have some leftover rice in the fridge that we haven't used. And this is the basmati. I love it. I've been using just regular long grain rice, but my kids love it too. We love basmati. It just comes out so good. And it came in this little tote. Like, how cool is that, right? You hold your 5 pounds of rice. So I'm keeping the bag, I guess, for, I don't know, when we move or something, if I need to move things around. I've got that. I was gonna make fried potatoes with the ground beef. I don't know if you've ever had that. It's so good. You fry potatoes, you cut them into like really itty bitty bite size, like very small bite sizes. And then you fry them, and you put them at the end. You put them on top of your picadillo. Oh my God, it's delicious. Let me go ahead and turn this on. And we're gonna do 3 is the magic number for me. Let me see. Just 3, and I have a gas thing, so gas stove. And if you hear banging, it's my robot cleaning my room. There she goes. And she is loud, and she's trying to escape my room, but you shall not, lady. You shall clean my room. So I'm gonna do 1 of these scoops. Oh, where's my sofrito? There you are. Just a little bit, like just enough, I guess, to coat the bottom of the pan. As such, it's very watery right now. Just enough to cover the bottom of the pan. If I had pinto beans, I would add just a little bit more. But this makes your beans kind of like the sauce kind of green, and so that's why tomato sauce kind of gives it a better color, I guess. And then I'm just gonna put straight in there the whole glob, and that's gonna reduce a lot of the salt that I'm gonna use for this. So yeah, just thinking that today my grandma would have loved to have eaten my picadillo. And a nice healthy spoon of garlic. I was the type that would chop up all of my vegetables and all of my herbs. I would just chop, chop, chop and sit here and use fresh ingredients and the whole thing. And that's a beautiful thing. And it tastes so much better. But I'm tired. I'm actually trying to figure out a way that I don't have to cook. I've made the positive changes for Sundays, and I'm only gonna buy pre-made oven dinners, or and I'm just gonna make Sundays lasagna days, you know, like lasagna or some sort of bake, so that when we come back from church, we're always exhausted. Also, it's an hour away. We don't have a local church close by, and so we drive all the way to Fort Worth to go to service. And so when we come back, you know, we normally like drive around for a little bit, you know, not run errands, but we'll get something to drink or something and hang out in the area for a little bit. And then by the time we get home, we're exhausted. I'm exhausted. And then I have to think about dinner because everybody's got to eat. And to take out the kids twice a week for our family, it's just not doable to eat out twice a week. They eat out already on Wednesdays when they go to church service. And so I don't want to make Sunday the second day. I'd rather have just like one. And Wednesdays we don't do like fancy things. It's just like McDonald's or Subway or Cane's. Something easy and fast. But it's 5 kids, so the minimum you're gonna spend is $54 at least. And my kids are growing. Like they're not about that life anymore. They need heartier, more substantial foods. So let me show you the consistency. I couldn't watch the sofrito change colors, but I could smell the garlic. So really you're just frying your sofrito for a little bit. I say frying, but you're just cooking it down for a little bit. I say frying, I guess, because it has oil. You're gonna cook that down just a little bit, so you're not having like to cook the raw cilantro and onions and garlic and peppers. It just gives it a different taste. This is what I've seen my mother-in-law do. And so I'm gonna add just 1 can. If I had 2 cans, I would have done 2 cans, but we only have 1 can. And thankfully only me and my little one like black beans. Everybody else tolerates black beans and beans overall. My husband likes pinto, And my other 4 kids could care less about having beans ever again in their lives. So when I make, but I like black beans with my picadillo. I'm gonna add it like, I am gonna add a 1.5 cans of water, and that's going to simmer and reduce a lot. So my family does not like the beans, but they do love the sauce on their rice. So I am gonna make enough sauce. Add some more water. So for seasonings, we've got the sofrito, which is the base, pepper, onion, garlic base. We've got a big glob of better than bouillon. We've got some minced garlic. If you have fresh garlic, you have the energy, chop up a nice whole garlic, I would say, and just chop it up. You don't even have to make it into pieces. You could just crush it, add it in there, boom, easy. But I haven't bought fresh garlic in a little bit because I've been using this. So the salt is not bad. I'm gonna check on my beef. Just gonna stir it a little bit. Still soupy. And it's almost time to turn it off. I've got it on low. It's been almost 30 minutes. We're gonna use the same exact ingredients that we used for our beef. So just less of it. So I've got some onion powder. Oh, jeez. That much. I don't measure. Get some paprika. That much. Black beans, you need cumin. That much. Black pepper. I love black pepper. I love pepper. So I also use white pepper when I have it. If I don't have it, I don't use it, but if it's on hand, a nice sprinkle, it just gives it, it's not spicy, it just gives it a nice deep flavor in my opinion. A dash of turmeric, like, I'm always afraid at the end because then it comes out like in globs, and I do not need globs of turmeric popping into my beans. Oh, that's good. Garlic powder. Yes, I have garlic powder and I have garlic minced. Yes, you would add garlic, crushed garlic and garlic powder as well. Just think about flavor. And then I am gonna add about 3 leaves of bay leaves, 3 bay leaves. And I won't need this for my rice. I don't use salt and oil. And I'm not gonna add salt because it tastes good. Yeah, it's good. So I didn't add salt, but I did add a whole glob. I don't know if that's a tablespoon, but you know, that much. A nice scoop of it. Oh, almost forgot. It's gonna start boiling soon. and then we will reduce the heat and cover it so that the sauce thickens out. And I do have to add some tomato sauce, which I'm gonna make because this is diced tomato. Yeah, I might as well just add the rest. The way it would have been a small can of tomato sauce, but because I did use a little more liquid and I wanted to reduce, I'm gonna go ahead and just use that up. And I have this is my new can opener. My hand doesn't get stuck. It's great. Put it down on the can, and then it has like a little hook. You hook that onto your can, and then you push down, push down, push down. It works really good, and it has a bottle opener, so love that. I actually bought it because my normal can opener broke, and it would keep breaking. Like every 6 months it would break, and then it gets really, the kids would wash it and then leave it on like to air dry, and it would oxidize. And so I hate it. I hate to see like utensils and things oxidized. But this is stainless steel, and I could leave this wet and it won't rust up. So you do have to hand wash it though, but I bought this years ago in Amazon, and it's like very heavy and works good. So I'm gonna go ahead and put away all of my wet ingredients and start cleaning up the kitchen. It's 5:58, so I'm gonna go ahead and make the rice maybe like in an hour, maybe closer to 7, because like I said, today is Friday for my husband, so the kids don't have to go to bed early, and I can we could eat dinner a little bit later. Oh, I've got to blend that. I just remembered that I have frozen sweet plantains, so it's gonna be a Cuban night tonight. We are going to fry some of these plantains. I'm going to thaw out just a little bit so that we could I'm gonna thaw enough for us to eat. So the last time I did the plantains, I did them on the air fryer because I read that they come out so good on the air fryer. No, they need to be fried or baked. The air fryer, it does everything, but it does not make plátanos correctly. So, and if you have made it and you have a secret sauce share it with your homegirl because I did that as a set it and forget it. So I didn't have to worry about frying plantains and dealing with the oil. But I don't think it was worth it for me because I didn't really like it. So to show you what we've got, it is boiling beautifully. And once I get it to a nice, I don't know, hard boil, I guess is that called? It's when I mix it and it continues to boil. You see that? It continues to boil. So I will do that hard boil, I guess, for another 5 minutes, still at 3. 5-10 minutes, and then I'm gonna cover it and lower the heat and simmer. We have got our ground beef. She's looking wildly good. Remember all that oil we took out? Well, there's still so much of it. So that's why I don't worry about it. And it did kind of stick, so I'm gonna turn this off because it did stick on the bottom. And I didn't want that. I want it to be nice and soupy. So I'm gonna turn it off because this is for sure cooked. I'm gonna try it and make sure that look at that. I mean, we took out almost 2 cups of oil and it's still oily. And I try to buy the leaner ground beef. Will forever be my favorite dish in the whole wide world. I don't know about you and what you grew up eating, but picadillo is like one of those staple things, and man, when somebody knows how to make it right, it is like so good. It's my absolute favorite. So I'm gonna blend the rest of my tomatoes. I did use only about 1/4, like I said, for the beans. It looked like I was pouring on a lot because of I was pouring it from this little guy, blender. But I used exactly what I thought I was gonna use, about 1/4 cup. I mean, about 1/4 of a pound. That's going to be ready to be put away in the fridge for the next meal. You could freeze tomato sauce too. I've never done it. I know you can, but I've never done it. So I don't know if that freezes well or not. I would think it would because it's tomato sauce. Yeah, like I don't see why it wouldn't. But we use it. We use it so often throughout the week that I don't ever have to worry about. I have no Tupperwares because Mama is ready to not be in the kitchen anymore. We're gonna put that in the fridge. I'm gonna look at my meal plan. I think I'm gonna just do an order pickup on Walmart for tomorrow and have some lasagnas for Sunday. Maybe do some garlic bread and a Caesar salad so it's a nice hearty comfort Sunday meal. And then I'm gonna think about tomorrow's Friday. We have a dinner because my husband's aunt is she's moving to Florida. And so we're gonna have like a little goodbye party for her dinner with the family. So I am not gonna have to cook dinner tomorrow, so I don't have to take anything out for tomorrow. But I do have to think about Saturday, and then Sunday I've got I think I have my lasagna in mind. I try to make breakfast on Saturday night. I've been making breakfast for Sunday morning on Saturday night. And then I pack the kids also like some chips and drinks, which I take in a cooler and I just bring it down into service. And I leave it there in the church's kitchen. So you don't have to skin the top. I'm doing that because, I don't know, habit, I guess. But you don't have to do the skimming of the top. I just like to see, when I skim it, it helps me see how thick the sauce is. Like, this isn't thick enough for me to cover it right now. I thought it was gonna be 5 minutes, but it's not. It's probably gonna have to boil harsh like that for about 10 minutes. Hard boil for 10 minutes. And then once I start to see those little bubbles, let me show you. Let's see. These bubbles don't come out so clear when the sauce starts to thicken. They start coming out more brown or gray. I don't know. This is like, I don't know what color this is, like brown, gray, I'm not sure. But it starts to come out, they come out, the bubbles are more, I don't know, thick. And they're not as watery, and that's when I know, okay, it's time to cover it. So, yeah, so Saturday night I will make breakfast. I think what I'm gonna start doing to make my life easier is just Friday, Saturday, and Sunday will be easy meals. I don't mind cooking, but I've just been in a slump lately when it comes to like cooking from scratch. I kind of want to just like throw everything in the oven and cook, and that's what I've been doing actually. And before I left for Florida, I was buying like chicken thighs or a whole chicken and just seasoning it well, putting it in the oven, putting my rice to cook, or roasting some potatoes with it, and boom, after an hour and a half, everything was done, and all I had to do was season it, put it in the oven. And I wasn't in the kitchen like, you know, turning and the whole thing. I've been thinking about doing batch cookings for the days that I do want to cook, Like, I would love to have picadillo twice a week if I could, or once a week is good. But for example, if I wanted to have my picadillo and beans, I would make a big batch. Instead of making 5 pounds of beef, I would make 10 pounds of beef, and then freeze half of it. But I don't have a deep freezer, and I don't have extra freezer space. All of my freezer is stocked up with the meats that I have to cook, some ice cream, things like that. You know, like I don't have space to put a bunch of frozen meals beforehand. I don't have a bunch of space for that, so I have to buy a deep freezer. When I do, I think I'm going to start making more batch cooking for the days that I am in the mood of cooking and making home meals. And then if I find like frozen meals that are on sale, then I could stock up on that stuff and add them, you know, put them in. But I think Friday, Saturday, and Sundays are going to be slower for me. I don't mind cooking weeknights because my husband's going to take that to work the next day, and so that helps him eat healthy and home-cooked meal. And then the weekend, we kind of just want to hang out and go outside or go watch movies or whatever, not be here, go to a pool party, whatever it is that the kids or we have planned out. We want to just spend our time, our weekend, not having to worry about it. So I think I'm going to start batch cooking for weekends, like making breakfast burritos, breakfast tacos, breakfast sandwiches, stuff like that. That's easy. We could put it in the air fryer and go. And then Lunch is always easy around here because we just do like leftovers, or we'll boil some eggs and make some ramen, pasta, tuna, things that are just very no-brainers, easy to go. That's normally what we do for lunch, no matter what day it is. And so dinner and breakfast are the bigger meals, like the more I have to think about what I'm gonna do. Meals is what I'm trying to say. So I'm not sure how long this is thought out for. I'm gonna try to pull off several of these plátanos and see, they kind of start to separate, but they're all kind of stuck together. So I'm gonna try to separate as much plátanos as I can for today, and then maybe to have some leftover. And then if I have a big leftover batch, I will go ahead and make my husband his lunch for Thursdays, because Wednesdays they normally go out to eat, and so I don't cook on Wednesdays. And then that way he could have some food to take to work on Thursday, and then say that I have a night in the week that I didn't really cook, and maybe we ate hot sandwiches or something like that. I could have like a leftover frozen meal for him ready to go. So if I have leftovers, so I always treat my weeks like this, like where if I'm cooking and he's not gonna work the next day, Thursday, if I'm cooking on a Thursday, he's not gonna work Friday. So if I have a lot of leftovers, and that's gonna save my Saturday lunch, then I won't pack him anything. But if it's like a lot of leftovers and I know the kids are not gonna eat it the next day, then I will pack him a lunch and then leave whatever is extra for him to eat. And it's extra quiet today as my kids are at their aunt's house, which is across the street. Not across the street, in my property. She lives in the tiny house. So the bubbles are bubbling a little bit thicker. We're not quite there yet. Pero ahí estamos, ya llegando. Qué rico, I can't wait. Can't wait to eat. They've been helping out my sister. She's moving out in August. And so they have been helping her pack. My husband's trying to clean up the property around there, around her house. And so it's been really quiet, and I'm like, you know what? Today's the day I'm gonna try and record again, because it's been a while. But so let's see. I have this urge to cover it because I don't want to think about it anymore. But now I think we're closer. The bubbles are thicker. But if you can see, it's still very soupy. Like, you see how watery? We just want that to thicken up a little bit more. So that's gotta cook down a little more. Anyway, I started therapy last week. Going through a lot of things, including grief. I'll have a glass or whatever bowl you have, and then I'll line it with paper towel, so once they come out from being fried, you put them in here so it absorbs a little bit of the oil. And I'm just gonna set this aside. I'm thinking, I keep looking over there because I see that there are mountains being moved over there. Like, they are all hands on deck right now. Everybody is moving stuff out and dumping things. Así me gusta verlo, trabajando. Anyway, friends, it's been hard. It's been a hard month. It's my parents are going through their own thing right now too, where they are, my mom has gout on her foot, my dad's got some other complications going on, and so taking that on after my grandma passed was extremely difficult. I've actually been waking up with tension headaches every day. I was just telling my sister about this, and she was like, "You're grieving," and I'm like, "I don't think this is grief. I think this is my body is just hasn't had time to rest." And she was like, "You're just grieving differently." So I don't know how much truth there is to that. It sounds about right, I guess. Look at this. It's a block of plantains. Yep, popped right out. I think because I internalized so much, I internalize so much and I don't express everything. I don't give myself too much time to process. I try to keep busy. And I think God in this season is like, hey, it's okay to grieve and think about what you lost. Because it just happened in the middle of the summer when kids are no longer in school and I've got all this quiet time to think about things. But therapy has been very helpful. We're trying to implement some tools, or we're implementing some tools, which he told me today you do it. Today is the day you're going to implement this and just try. And I was like, okay. So I am trying to, I think this is like it's all stuck. That's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 pieces for 5 people. We love plantains, so I don't want to rob anybody of the yumminess. Man, these guys are like, I think when they weren't like this, but the traveling from, because when I picked them from that discount store I go to, it was $6.99. And it's non-GMO. It's like this really good, I think they sell it at Whole Foods or they sell it to restaurants. But I've bought mangoes and pineapples, frozen mangoes, frozen pineapples, and raspberries for under $5 for 5 to 6 pounds. This was 6 pounds for $6.99. So a little over a pound. I don't mind. I don't have to cut the plantains. I don't have to wait for them to ripen if they're not ready. I just thaw out. Anyway, but these are all separated, and I think the traveling from the store to the house, they kind of meshed together because they started falling out in the car. And anyway, here I am now, trying to unmarry my plantains. And I guess that's one more meal. A good light meal. I've been doing this instead of using paper towels. I've had this little, at the end of dinner, I will just put it in the basket to be washed. But it was just what I've been kind of like wiping the counters with as I go and holding on to the hot candles. And at the end of dinner, I will just go ahead and put that in the little, actually, I have a whole load of towels that I need to put away. Speaking of towels. And then I think I'm gonna just put this in the refrigerator. It's 6:22, or maybe I'll leave it out. Yeah, because there's nothing like a fresh fried plantain. If I fry this and then I put it in the air fryer just to stay, I'm afraid it won't keep its nice, mushy, yummy consistency. So I'm gonna put this in the fridge so it could just slowly defrost, thaw out in the fridge. And then I'm gonna get the oil ready, like just put it in the pan, ready to go so that I could fry my plantains later. Looks like the beans are looking good. Okay. And it has definitely reduced. I don't know if you could tell, but it has reduced some. It's a little bit thicker. Not as thick, I think, as I want it to be. But you know what? So I'm gonna cover it anyway. I'm gonna cover it, I'm gonna lower it. It's 6:23, so it's okay now, maybe to start making the rice. I'm gonna set the table and then, yeah. Let's get dinner going. I've got this at the Walmart. $4, and it's actually very sturdy, and it made my life so easy today because I could just fold my stuff. And I know that everybody has like a laundry basket, and like that system works in a lot of homes, but I hadn't really implemented a laundry basket in my home until a couple days ago. And I'm like, why have I been surviving? Why haven't I been thriving like everybody else with their laundry basket, making life so easy going from one side of the home to the other? Anyway, so I got myself a $4, $5 laundry basket, and I'm going to put away all of these dish towels, make some plátanos, and what am I trying to do here? I'm trying to cut this. Enjoy a quiet Thursday night because I'm gonna take advantage. These kids are all over there at their auntie's house, and they're gonna come back. They're gonna all be starving, and then I'm gonna be like, here you go, here's your meal. And then they're all gonna take it and eat it, and they're gonna leave me alone today, I think. They're gonna hang out with their aunt. And my husband's dedicated. Like, he's out there moving stuff back and forth. He just took his car to the, look at that, dumpster. Yeah. They are working it. They are getting stuff done. I am not gonna interrupt. I'm just gonna come out with everybody's food and like, hey guys, remember to eat. And then I'm gonna like watch TV or something. Who knows what the day holds for me. But these are good days. These are the days, man. So yes, my plantains are thawing out. My rice is not cooking yet. I'll do that in a little bit. I was gonna try to walk today and get more steps in. Right now I've only got, I didn't finish telling you about my little watch. So it has no or low radiation. There's no Bluetooth, there's no app attached to it. My hands are too wet. I got it for $37, I think. I got it for $37. It buzzes and tells me, hey, you gotta go drink water. Let's see if I can. I don't know if you could see that, but oh, hold on. So it's got a walk, run, walk, exercise, sleep, alarm clock, stopwatch, timer, breathe training, drink water, okay, drink water reminder, sedentary reminder. Screen settings. Let me go ahead and do screen settings because I think I'm gonna do 10 seconds because it turns off too quick on me. Wrist sense, so that means that I'm wearing it. Brightness, I always have it at the lowest level. Settings, walk. Anyway, so yeah, it's been tracking my, I got only 2,701 steps today. Not good. Not good. And yeah, I'm gonna have to try to get some more steps in here. I would think I would have had more because I've been cleaning my kitchen and doing things around here, but I guess I haven't really been doing as much as I thought. So trying to get these little healthy habits implemented and want to lose at least 50 pounds. I am at a very unhealthy weight right now and I'm kind of stuck. I do think that there's some thyroid issues or something like that, underlying hormonal stuff in the background, because I'm stuck at a specific weight. I'm at 175 pounds. I'll drop to like 170, 172. I'm short. I'm 5'2", barely reaching 5'2". And so my back's been hurting. That's from so many other things, but I know that the extra weight is contributing to that. I don't really fit into my clothes the way I want to fit, although I have been walking. I started walking back in April when I came back from Florida with my sister, and my clothes actually are fitting a lot better, even though there's no weight loss. My clothes are fitting better. So there's that. And I'm not happy with the way my clothes are fitting, with the way I feel. I'm waking up exhausted regardless of how much sleep I'm getting or not getting. So there's a lot of going on. I know that it's got to do being over 40, you know, hormones, all the things, babies. I mean, I had babies I've had 5 kids, and the first 3 were 2 years to 3 years apart, and my 4th and 5th came a couple years after that, but still, it's been a baby making machine, I guess. And my body's like, no! So. And it's funny, like the kids left, they did their chores last night. You know, they have chores every day, but they did their chores last night, and they went to go help. My boys slept over my sister's house. And they helped her pack and package boxes, stuff like that. And then my girls, my daughter did her nails, and then she did her sister's nails. But anyway, they all did their chores and stuff last night. And so the house has been really well, you know, the kids aren't here, the house stays clean. What a thing, huh? So I've just been really enjoying this little kiss from heaven today, because I had my therapy session earlier too. I told them, hey, from 3 to 4, you guys cannot talk. Please go to your aunt's house. Your meal is in the fridge. Take it to go, take it to her house. I made sure that they had lunch and breakfast ready. But anyway, so I was like, 3 to 4, you're gonna go ahead and grab your lunch and go to your aunt's house. And so that's exactly what they did. And then my husband got home, and they are now working, baby, like moving trash. Oh, he's still there. Unpacking the car. Okay, so when we lived in a tiny property, we had a ton of gardening tools, and my husband made a table and all kinds of stuff. And we never cleaned it up when we took down the garden. Not took down the garden, but Texas, okay? 105 degree, 6-7 years ago, when we were trying to garden over here, 5-6-7 years ago. We had 2 years where it was like, one year was 108, or I remember it being something ridiculous. Like, it killed everything overnight. 102, 103. It was just really hot. And I was like, I'm not going outside. Like, I don't like this. I'm an outdoorsy. I love nature. And I love being outdoors. But if it's going to be like hot enough to fry an egg on my hood of my car, on the hood of my car, no thanks. Give me a pool, give me a beach so that I could cool off in. Otherwise, I'm not coming out. Well, none of our plants thrived. None of them survived. So, a lot of the pots and stuff kind of just stayed there when we moved into this house. And when my sister moved in, yeah, we just haven't had the chance to rectify that and make it nice. But once she moves out, we are going to Airbnb that space or try to rent that space out to somebody else. And so my husband's trying to get it as move-in ready as possible. And my sister was kind enough to deal with the way that the garden looked, which wasn't bad. And she was using it too for her pots and her little pot. Like he just made like a plywood kind of potting table, I guess, so that you could work and have a space for your what's it called, propagations and such, or potting new things, repotting, things like that. So anyway, this is what we used for the beef. So I kind of just let it sit there too with some soap. You just gotta make sure that you get into those little pieces, even though it's sealed and there's nothing gonna go in there. But it always grosses me out to think that there could be like a piece of raw beef just sitting there. I like to go through all of them and make sure you wash it with really hot water and some Dawn soap. If we want to whisk up some pancakes, you should be able to do that and not get salmonella. So yeah, so we're gonna make it ready to go. She's used it as well, but it's just kind of something that worked for us and our family. If she likes plants and stuff like that, so it didn't bother her to have the potting table and all of the pots and unused pots in there either. The garden is completely overgrown, so we're just gonna take it down, except for the grapes. The grapes are still coming back year after year, but they're not edible, which is what I was telling my husband. I'm like, they're very bitter. I don't like them, so we might as well just take that little grape thing out, and we'll see. So we're gonna take that out, take it down, and then make it Airbnb-able. We're thinking to have like a cozy, because it is a tiny home, make it into like a cozy. And I got cut off, so I was trying to say that we are going to try to make it into a cozy Airbnb for like a couple, and so that's probably going to take us about a month to get ready. But anyway, thank you guys for coming along with me, listening to my rant and my just talking about grief and cooking picadillo with me. It came out delicious, and of course I couldn't take a picture or record the outcome because I ran out of space and I record on my iPhone. And so anyway, you're just gonna have to trust me, okay? Thank you for being here with me. Please hit that like button and share this with a girlfriend that likes to listen to others talk while they're cooking or cleaning or hanging out. I'll see you guys. God bless you.